Illycaffè is the family-run business behind the ubiquitous Illy coffee. The premium, instantly recognisable red and white brand is present in 140 countries and employs some 1,000 people across the world. Today I'm in Milan and I'm joined by Andrea Illy, who's the chief executive of the company and grandson of Francesco Illy, who is the founder of the company some 8 years ago and also inventor of the first high-pressured automated espresso machine. Mr. Illy, thank you very much for joining me today. You have in the past likened Illy coffee to champagne, Chanel No. 5, very much putting it at the higher end of the coffee rostrum. I wonder how is growth in premium coffee doing at the moment?
Well, the good news is that in the last decade or so, 1 or 2 decades, let's say 15 years, coffee has definitely been decommoditized. The trend is continuing, and many brands which are also playing in the so-called mass market are now trying to premiumize. So definitely the let's say intangible content and the differentiation of the coffee offer is including, and this also is a good way to attract new consumers on board, because we shall always remember that more or less 20-something% of the human population drinks coffee, so there is a huge pool of a new consumer to conquer.
And looking at those new consumers, obviously China has been experiencing double-digit growth in its coffee market of late. It's a big opportunity for you. Yet, like the rest of Asia, it's notorious for its adherence to local taste, and that's something that you said you wouldn't pander to. How is Illy doing with making inroads in that market?
There you have to do another job, which is more a kind of a missionary job of introducing the coffee culture along with the solution and gradually, let's say, bring on board, conquer consumers one by one, and let them fall in love with the coffee culture, coffee experience, coffee preparation, coffee tasting, and so on. China needs to be cultivated like a little plant, like a little seed.
So you're confident that Asia will become a region like North America, like Europe, a region of big coffee drinkers?
Of course, of course. It will not replace tea. It will represent, like it is now, an additional consumption occasion. So that means that I expect maybe more the penetration in terms of number of consumers starting consuming coffee to grow faster than the per capita consumption.
Looking at changes in other markets, we're seeing more discerning coffee drinkers in origin countries, for example in Brazil. What do you see that doing to the market?
Well, Brazil have been responsible for quite a significant growth of the coffee consumption in the last decade. Not so much anymore. If you go back 15-20 years ago, Brazil used to drink a much lower quality. They were kind of consuming internally the lowest quality portion of their coffee production and exporting the best one. Now they changed the policy and there is definitely better quality around, which drives consumption, as we know.
And what effect do you think that will have on prices?
The average price of the coffee cup in Brazil is growing, and it will keep growing. Brazil is an expensive market. It's very expensive. I mean, so nobody is outraged to pay price which are comparable to the one that you can pay maybe in Italy for a cup of coffee in Brazil.
And outlook for coffee prices in general?
Stocks are still not so high. So, in my opinion, we are still in a kind of fragile condition for volatility, but I don't see that there are the conditions in the overall commodity markets for a big increase, unless something dramatic happens, and the only possible dramatic event could be a climatic one, which is quite unlikely, because the dramatic climatic events like used to be the frost or big drought in Brazil do not occur so much anymore after we have this global warming, which is changing the climate pattern in the world.
Mr. Illy, thank you very much.
My pleasure indeed.